The art of shucking, it's not that difficult. All about practice, practice, practice. So we're at a little place shucking today, if you can look behind me. Bright Tank Breweries down in East Perth on Brown Street. Kitchen is called Brown Street Grill. And I come in once a month and we shuck oysters here. So
when I was working in the kitchens, we used to joke that when the customers asked and you didn't know where the oysters were from, you would just say any word and then add bay to it.
Yeah,
so like Dog Bay,
yeah, no, that works well.
Bay,
Actually, yes,
Michael Bay, Dolphin Bay, like So where are these ones from?
These are from Coffin
Bay.
For those who don't know what Coffin Bay is, it's at the very tip end of the Eyre Peninsula on the west coast. Aussie oysters are unbelievable. So, you know, we've got Albany rocks coming on the menus, and I've got Tassies on other menus. Today we've got South Australia, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. What we say about these type of oysters, they're still quite what we call body-wise, they're quite creamy. Not buttery, but creamy. And very saline. So straight out of the ocean, salty dogs. And still got a firm texture as well, but the finish is still quite flinty, yeah?
Yeah.
So we're gonna love these. As you all know, I just shuck fresh. I don't wash oysters, I just wash my knife. It's all about technique, as you know.
You come in the bottom.
So I come through the hinge, yeah? And I pop it, and I just raise it slightly so I can stretch the adductor. So the adductor muscle is placed at the back here, and there's the adductor muscle. So what we do is take out any grit or any shell that's in there, comes out, and we very gently sever it, and I just turn them over the presentation. You go in through the hinge, 35-degree angle, and it's called the oyster wiggle. So we go back and forth. We never use a screwdriver effect, and then we pop. Boom. That's the pop. The oyster's still alive in there. Chefs can leave them there ready for the next service. Cover them with a cloth. Any knife will do it now. So you can get a butter knife, you can get your oyster knife out again. And all you do is you put the blade in there, you raise it a little bit, and you just slide it across the ceiling. And look how clean that is.
It's clean, right?
That's clean. And there's the oyster still alive in the shell. Now, some restaurants will serve it that way. In France, they do that way. That's perfectly all right, but for presentation, I think. Presentation nowadays is so important, Lockie.
Sexy.
Because if you're going to sell oysters for 35, 40 bucks a dozen, I think presentation is paramount.
100%.
Sex in a shell, that's what we call it. Thank you, Lockie, you know that.
All right, that's trademarked.
All right.
Is that how long you've been doing it? 40 years?
Yeah, 40 years, 5 continents. Very happy just shucking around the world.
Yeah.
In Perth now for about 28 years.
Yeah.
And really enjoying the sort of the arena it's given me.
I think I've known you 20
I
reckon.
Yeah, I reckon so. Yeah. Perth, I think, is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. So now, as you know, Locke, menus are starting to change. People are starting to put down the areas they're farmed in, and also the farmers' names and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's good.
So we're getting into that sort of now, which is great. So in the old days, it was just fresh oysters. That was it. No one really cared.
Yeah.
But now people do care. It's regionality, it's seasonality.
Yep.
And Australian oysters are very high up on my worldwide list, by the way.
Lovely.
I mean, look at, and keep all the natural ocean juices in there.
Yep.
That's part of the magic of eating oysters is the salt water. When I eat oysters, people say, "How do you do it, Jerry?" I slurp off the brine. Thank you. Slurp off the brine, and it opens up the taste buds. So. Oh my God.
You just slurp first?
Slurp first, open up the taste buds, and then we're going to slurp the oyster into the mouth. We're not going to use oyster forks, I'm not into all that. We just slurp it off, we're going to give it 2 chews, roll it around with my tongue, bite into it, and savor the flavor. There is a profile. Clean, look at that.
Mate, that's fucking
clean.
Yeah.
Clean going in. Basically, that is the art of, we call it art of shucking.